Maha Kumbh is such an auspicious occasion. Crores of people want to land up in Prayagraj and want to undergo all the rituals, go through all the rituals that are there in the scriptures, and it is looked forward to. It is a much awaited occasion for many of the devotees. And now this event has grabbed headlines, not all for the good reasons. With me is Free Press Journal's consulting editor Anushka Jagtiani, and we are going to just talk about a few headlines from the sidelines. Anushka, let's begin with the fact that it is drawing the crowds, like how. I am seeing people still booking tickets, wanting to get there despite whatever, the chaos that we see. What is it that's driving people to the Maha Kumbh?
Thanks, Afrida, and that's a very valid question. Is it Bhakti or is it the fear of missing out, or Fomo at this point, that is driving people to the Maha Kumbh? Because initially I think it was a lot of Bhakti. They used to say that Kumbh is for sadhu, sant and shraddhalu. But now you find every influencer, you find a lot of celebrities, and there's just so much content being made on the Maha Kumbh, you can't help but feel that FOMO.
It started with the Mona Lisa picture, isn't it?
Absolutely. It started with the people were going there and talking about Mona Lisa with hazel eyes and IIT Baba, and they were not talking about the spiritual aspect, the Puranic origins of Kumbh. They were talking about these side issues. Then, you found a lot of influencers going, and they were not covering the entire event properly. They were showing one side of it. But they were not showing the hiccups in the organization or the difficulties they face. So then, that sends a whole different message. And when you see every prominent influencer descending there, and then there's viral content, and because, the government of UP was also pushing this, promoting this digital Kumbh worldwide. As well as the Ministry of Tourism tying up with so many influencers, they have their own pavilion there.
Yeah.
So I think really along the way, which started as Bhakti, has now become social media frenzy and FOMO.
Very nicely said, Bhakti or FOMO. I think, what it reminds me, Anushka, and I must put this out, I don't know Bhakti or FOMO, but what I do see is that innocent lives are being lost. First, the Kumbh tragedy happened, 30 people died there. Well, ostensibly because of crowd mismanagement, and then this New Delhi station stampede had to happen. So when I was thinking about it, I realized, 7,000 plus crores you've devoted, so much has gone into it, so much of, momentum built around it, that it's going to be a fantastic event, well managed. And people go with that expectation. People believe you that it's going to be flawless and everything, and then this happens. So that is what I'm disappointed with, that when you made a promise, when you put yourself out there saying we will do it and it will be the best Kumbh ever, you've not lived up to that promise. So that is pretty disappointing, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So there's a discrepancy between what was said and what is actually being delivered. Nobody is doubting that much money has been spent on it, but if that much money was being spent, then why did we see the stampede at the New Delhi railway station? Ashwini Vaishnav had said last year that for 2 years they've been preparing for Maha Kumbh and invested 5,000 crores in the railways. So why did we see something like this? You're absolutely right. There's so many, you say you're prepared, but are you really prepared for this many people? And then if you're not prepared, why are you promoting it so much and inviting so many people to come?
Yeah, and the VIP culture, also there is, of course, two opinions that people did not follow rules, but there's a lot of people who are also saying that, even in an occasion like this, you have created a class distinction. There are separate approaches for the VIP and the celebrities.
Yeah. Though that's also creating a lot of FOMO, Afrida, because we've seen so many reels of the Ambani family dipping, of Mukesh Ambani dipping, the Adani family doing aarti and dipping, of so many actors and celebs dipping, and and that just drives that desire to be there and be a part of it. These are families and people who are revered and worshipped in India, but people don't realize that those people are going by private jets, probably taking a helicopter to the Sangam, are dipping in a cordon of VIP area.
Yeah.
So the regular people are not going.
Getting access to it.
उनके पास ये व्यवस्था नहीं है for the regular people.
Yeah.
So there's a big discrepancy. And just one thing I want to add, I've done an interview with someone on the Kumbh. a Kathavachak, a Sanatani scholar, and he said the origins of Kumbh were such that Samrat Harshavardhan, when he started it, he popularized Kumbh. He was a king, but he would go and live in the huts with the poor, wear ordinary clothes and distribute all his wealth. So there was no VIP culture ever associated with Kumbh.
And one must watch that episode that Anushka has done. It's on our YouTube on Free Press Journal. I'm plugging your show because I think it has got quite a lot of audience who wanted to hear out, someone who knows about the history of Kumbh. But one more point, talking about Aastha Vayvastha, if you have devoted that sort of money, why didn't you earmark a certain amount of money to redevelop the New Delhi station? The infrastructure is so poor that with a one mistake in announcement or change of platform, this happens, and it's bedlam break loose, right? So there should be zero margin of error when this is the sort of crowds you're dealing with. And now, Anushka, politics has come in. So today, Mamata Banerjee says it's a Mrityu Kumbh. Akhilesh Yadav is questioning the 144 years part of it, whether that research is accurate. Do you know?
Personally, I'm not an astrologer, but I have interviewed people and follow many acharyas and religious scholars. And one person, interestingly, religious scholar, posted just yesterday after the stampede that there's no scriptural evidence of it being once in 144 years. And this is someone who is a devout Hindu who posted it, right? And I'd reposted that. That look, even in 2013, people had said this is once in 144 years. Even in other Kumbhs, people have made that claim. Nobody's saying it's not an auspicious, or there is a planetary alignment that's very special. Jupiter is aligned with the moon and sun, and Saturn is along with them. Yes, it's a very rare and auspicious planetary alignment.
The you're talking about.
Yes, but whether it's once in 44 years, well, now a lot of people are saying that there's no scriptural evidence for that. So, I mean, and this was being yelled at from the rooftops and driving millions over there.
Yeah. So one last thing. Now again, the NGT, the National Green Tribunal, has come up with a report that the Ganga waters are polluted to the extent that it is actually not suitable for humans to actually take a bath, because the bacterial level is such, the hygiene levels have now really become very poor. But even that doesn't seem to be a deterrent. Do you see that there's a sanitation nightmare that can happen if actually 50 crore people have showed up there to take the holy dip?
Now the numbers are far higher than that. I mean, the Ganga hasn't changed, right? The river is the same. I mean, how they're going to clean all this up, once Kumbh is over, is left to be seen. Afrida, very valid point, I mean, that's going to be a monumental task.
Yeah, I think we leave it at that, and of course the major takeaway being Aastha ke saath Vayvastha. That is what I think both of us realized is necessary. Otherwise, tragedies like the stampedes are bound to happen. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Thank you, Anushka.